Today I'm going to be talking about Iovance Biotherapeutics, ticker symbol IOVA. It's currently sat at just over $6 and has a market cap of $1.8 billion. I'm going to be going through my research on my website TickerTaco. If any of you think that this application might be useful to you, please let me know. I'm really looking for someone to share my ideas with. It's completely free and I'm able to change anything within the system. So during this video, I'm going to look at the bull points and the bear points for this stock. And at the end, I'm going to be talking about the stock price and where I think that might be heading. So Iovance is a cancer therapy company. Their main product is Amtagvi, and they have a complementary chemotherapy product, Proleukin. These have been released within the last year and sales look to be going well. So let's take a look at the first bull point. Here you can see I've mentioned the two products that they currently have live. And if we look at the description, we can see that it's a $1 billion+ opportunity in the US alone. And they think it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar opportunity worldwide. Of course, if they can achieve these figures, then the company is going to be worth a lot more than the $1.8 billion it's currently worth. So let's take a look first at the things that worry me a bit about this product. We can see here in the bear points that I have the mortality rate. And this is quite significant. They have a mortality rate of 7.5 for the Amtagvi. So you have to bear in mind that this is a cancer therapy, so there's a good chance that these people are going to die without this therapy. So many of them at the moment are going to accept this mortality rate at the chance of being able to live much longer. However, the reason I think that this is so important is the fact that there is some heavy competition in this market. So if you were to take a look at the 10Q, you would see that all of these competitors are creating therapies or drugs within this market. And the one that really sticks out to me is Repel. This company looks to have created a drug that has the same effectiveness as Iovance's Amtagvi. However, it doesn't have the mortality rate that comes with it. Therefore, I think this is going to be the obvious first choice for people with this condition. They have submitted for BLA, but it has not yet been approved. If it does get approved and those efficiencies do come to fruition, then I think this is going to be a major competitor to Amtagvi. So let's go up and look at some of the bull points to this bull point. The first are the new indication pipelines, and this is really very exciting about the company. So they are looking at non-small cell lung cancer and endometrial cancer. Now, non-small cell lung cancer is 10 times the market for melanoma. So just that alone can provide a massive boost for this company. However, there are many competitors in this space and it really is a race to get this approved. However, I do think that this is one of the major appeals about this company. So next in the list, we have the ex-US territories. So as mentioned above, they think they have a $1 billion opportunity in the US and a multi-billion-dollar opportunity worldwide. And as you can see soon in the catalysts, they're hoping to get some of these other territories approved this year. I think this will be a major catalyst for this company. And the other thing to take a look at is the gross profit margin increasing. Now 2 quarters ago, nearly all of their money went on cost of goods. But this quarter, they had a 35% profit margin. And they believe that they can get this profit margin to 70% over the next several years. So if we go back to the main bull point list, next one down is the potentially conservative management. Now I say potentially because personally I haven't seen enough from this management yet. All I've seen is that they quoted a target of between $53 and $55 million for the third quarter. However, they were able to achieve $58 million. So this is in contrast with some other companies that give a target much higher than what they actually accomplish. So hopefully this means that we can look forward to more quarter beats. Next in the bull point list is the strong guidance. So for next year, they are guiding between 450 and 475 million. I say this is strong guidance, although I think this might be below what some people were hoping for. However, it does still represent a $17 million growth every quarter. So every quarter that goes by is going to be improving their balance sheet significantly. So next we can move on to the bear points. So the biggest freestanding bear point for this company, I think, is the cash burn. And this is really quite significant. They have annual fixed costs of between $400 and $450 million a year. And the reason for this, of course, is the amount of trials that they currently have ongoing. So hopefully this will result in more profit in the long term. However, it still means that they have at least another year to go before they'll be profitable. The next thing on the list is the slowing growth. Now, this is a bit of a concern for me, and I'd like to see what happens in the following quarters, but the first 2 quarters showed significant growth of $30 million per quarter. However, for the next quarter, they've only forecast between $10 and $15 million. Hopefully, this is just the management being conservative, or maybe it's due to supply constraints. It looks like we're going to have to wait longer to find out. So now that we've gone through all of the bull and the bear points for the company, I'm going to talk about the stock price and where I think that might be heading. So I have to admit, I have looked at IOVA before, but that's when it was around the $10, $11 mark, and I thought it was a bit overpriced at that point. It was a bit too early in the process, and I didn't think the risk reward was quite right yet. However, now you can see it's dropped down to below the $6 mark, and for me, I think this is a stage to really start thinking about this company. I do think it's a stock for the more risky players out there, to be honest, because you do have that mortality rate. And you do have a high number of competitors as well. So if a competitor does come out with a therapy or a drug that can compete, then the patients are more likely to choose that over a therapy that has a 7.5 mortality rate. But there's a couple of things that I would add here. Hopefully they can reduce that mortality rate over time. And secondly, even if a competitor does come out with the product, that's not going to work for all of the patients. So there still should be a market left for IOVA. Another thing I'd like to point out is that this year is going to be the year of catalyst for IOVA. It's really quite striking how many trials they currently have going at the moment. I've added some of them into Ticker here where I could find the dates. So if we look at catalysts, we can see that we have the European approval, United Kingdom approval, Canadian approval, and further off into the future, but this was a significant one I wanted to add, was the non-small cell lung cancer accelerated approval. As mentioned before, this could expose them to a market 10 times the size of the market of the melanoma cancer. So I'd say that this stock is a really exciting one to look at. However, that excitement doesn't come without its risks. There's a lot already priced in, and it's going to have to meet those goals to maintain its $1.8 billion valuation. What you can do to keep on top of this is you can click here and you will be sent a notification every time a catalyst is updated here. And you can also do the same for the points. Just come to tickertaco.com and check it out. It's completely free. Okay, so I hope that you have found this video interesting. If you have, please click the like button. It's also free.